Hello and welcome to meandmygolf.com and welcome to Simple Secrets to Lower Scores. Now, we've been coaching for almost 20 years and had the benefit of playing with lots of different types of golfers. So we wanted to put together a coaching plan for you to help you on the golf course to ultimately shoot lower scores. Now, we've identified the most common mistakes that we see golfers make out there that are really making it very difficult to shoot their best score. So we promise you, if you follow this simple plan, you will hit more greens, hit more fairways, hole more putts and shoot lower scores.
So we start in part one, strategy. How do you plan your way around the golf course? Pre-shot routine is crucial, and what decisions should you be making? Then we move over to the mind, possibly the most important part of getting you around that golf course, controlling your state of mind and controlling the things that you say to yourself. In parts 3 and 4, we talk about sloping lies and trouble shots. So we get into the technique, which is going to allow you to hit more greens from these awkward positions. And then to finish off in part 5, it's game day. So we give you the tools to prepare for the big day and then how to get around that golf course whilst in that competition.
So if you're a member of meandmygolf.com, you can enjoy the whole series, but if you're not, then make sure you take advantage of the 30-day free trial and enjoy Simple Secrets to Lower Scores. So what a perfect place to actually start with strategy. We're on the 18th at the Asprey, par 3. You know the hole already, you've seen it so many times. Water, bunkers, it's a tricky one and it often causes problems with golfers that we see all the time, Piers, here. A lot of people go in the water, a lot of people go in the bunkers. So strategy is so key when it comes to holes like this. Now look, pre-shot routine, Piers, we're going to kick it off with this because your pre-shot routine is so important for your golf because it allows you to make the right decisions, the right planning, execute the shot as good as you can. But also when it comes to those pressure situations, like we're on here, you may be one up going down the last, and you need to maybe hit the green. So in those situations, having the right pre-shot routine is massively going to help.
It's all about preparation, isn't it, Andy? And we always hear people say you've got to take one shot at a time. That's what the pre-shot routine does. It allows you to evaluate the shot you're about to play and prepare yourself best to play that shot.
It does, and it's not going to guarantee you're going to hit a good shot, unfortunately, but it's going to give you the best chance possible. And when we ever sort of talk about a pre-shot routine, we break it down into 3 stages, don't we, Piers? Just talk about the 3 stages.
Yes, so the first thing we need to look at is the strategy. So that's gathering all the information that you need ready to play that shot. Then we're talking about the imagery, so that's the stage 2. Imagery is imagining the best shot that you can hit based on that strategy, and then stage 3 is committing to those first 2 stages. So once you have got that good strategy and imagery, you need to then commit to play that shot.
And it's amazing how many golfers actually don't have a routine that really allows them to put these processes into action. So what we're going to do actually, Piers, you're going to take us through your routine, aren't you?
I am. Before we get into my pre-shot routine, we want to show you how we structure that routine. So we like to use the think and the play box. The think box is where we do the strategy, the practice swings, the imagery, getting all the information in. Then when we're ready to commit, we move into that play box to play that shot. All right, 123 to carry the water, 155 to the flag. Flag on the left, bunkers on the left, got to make sure we don't miss green left. There'll be enough club taken here to get over the water. I want to be looking to actually pitch this one about 20 feet right of the flag, so not going for the flag. Wind is downwind, off the right, downhill slightly as well, taking a little bit of yardage off. So I think 9-iron is the club, 20 feet right of the flag, slight knockdown shot. Hitting it a little bit softer, making sure I don't hit it too high and let the wind make it carry too far. Okay, Piers, perfect strategy. Let's get that ball flight. Got the image, Piers. It's go time. Just commit to it. Ooh, right, Andy, 41 out. That's my best front nine. I reckon if I do a normal back nine, I'll do my best ever score.
Don't be like this guy. Adding up your scores during the round is only going to cause you unwanted pressure and stress in your game.
Yeah, just imagine if your playing partner said to you, you've got 3 holes to go, you're on for your best ever score, what pressure is that going to give you, and are you actually going to shoot that best score? Probably not.
Aim your ball flight and not your body. This may sound a little strange, but aiming your body is sometimes overrated. Now look, we're on the golf course. We want to make sure that ball hits the target no matter what. Now look, everybody tends to have a certain shot pattern, Piers. It may be a fade, a draw, and they tend to have a consistent miss, whether it be to the right or to the left. Now, let's take someone who tends to slice the golf ball. Their bad shot is a miss to the right.
The most common?
The most common one, yeah. We often see that golfers tend to overlook where they position the ball on the tee. They tee the golf ball up in the middle. They aim straight down the middle of the fairway, but their tendency to miss the target, Piers, is a right. So they slice it and they're in trouble in the right-hand side. So if that's going to happen on a regular basis, we need to maybe make allowances for that, don't we? Because look, we've missed the target, we're in the rough, instead of getting the ball on the fairway, irrespective of really where we're aiming. We need to aim the ball flight, don't we?
Yeah, so if you actually were to take it into account and actually, as you say, allow for that ball flight, you're probably still going to get the same amount of curve. You're probably still going to get 20 yards of curve, for instance. But if you position yourself differently and aim differently, you can allow for this. So as opposed to actually standing in the middle of the tee, the good thing on the teeing ground, the first shot, we can position ourselves where we like. So if we were to go over to the right-hand side, suddenly the view of the hole, we have a much more room to hit, so we can visually see a lot more room down the left-hand side. So straight away then, from there, I'm just going to aim at the cart path. So I can aim at the cart path some 20 yards or so left of the centre of the fairway, and that's where I want to start my golf ball, and that's where then my golf ball from there is going to drift back into the middle of the fairway.
Definitely. And so golfers, it's funny, isn't it? Because golfers tend to think, well, I need to aim straight. I can't let the ball slice. But sometimes whatever ball flight and shot pattern you have, look, play with it and allow with it. You know, ultimately, we just got to get the golf ball in the middle of the fairway and give ourselves the best chance possible of making a good score.
Shall I have a go at this?
Yeah, talk us through what we would prefer a golfer who slices the golf ball to do, Piers.
Okay, so again, I'm going to tee up as far to the right-hand side of the tee as possible. And then when I'm looking at this now, as I said, it just is so much easier for me to see more room for me to hit this slice. Okay, so I'm going to aim at the cart path, and then from there, once I've set myself, I'm almost going through my pre-shot routine, my imagery still from before in the first segment, and I just want to see that golf ball starting on that cart path, drifting into the centre of the fairway, and hopefully sets up a nice easy iron shot to the green. There we go, starting down the left-hand side. That's got a good 20 yards of slice, just like the shot before, but now at least I can play from the fairway, not from the rough on the right.
And the great thing when you do that as well is if you were to hit a dead straight shot, you're down the left-hand side of the fairway, and actually you're still in a good position. So it just brings your margin for error. It makes that a lot easier. So you've got a much better chance there of making hopefully a par or even a birdie.
Of course.
In-game evaluations, is this something that you are doing? If not, then you may be losing some shots. Now look, it's important when you're on the golf course to identify certain patterns that you are doing. And if you can make these in-game evaluations, it is definitely going to give you the opportunity to actually correct some mistakes during the round, Piers, and ultimately, you know, shoot a lower score, isn't it? And this is something we see amongst golfers, certain patterns that they do on the golf course, but they're not aware of them all the time, are they, either?
And you just said that awareness is the key. So we've played with clients on the golf course before, and they've played 9 holes and they've missed the majority of their tee shots to the right, and they're not aware of this. So, you know, what we need you to do is have a system in order to see how you are doing when you're playing. So think of it this way. We like to get our clients to put a circle on the 6th hole and the 12th hole. So by the time you get to the 6th hole, you've developed some consistency in what you're doing with your patterns. So imagine that you're pulling all your iron shots, or you've been leaving your chip shot short, or you've been slicing your tee shots and missing to the right. You now can make that in-game evaluation to say, well, actually, I'm just going to get my chip shots and aim to hit them a little bit further up the green. You know, changing how you hit your putts, changing where you're aiming for your tee shots. So, you know, you're not consistently doing the same bad thing throughout the round. You have something now that you can battle against that and change the rest of your round.
It's the Albert Einstein quote, isn't it? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. It's the insanity. We don't want to be insane on the golf course, although it does drive us insane every now and again. So yeah, look, it's the awareness, isn't it? There's the key, making the relevant changes. And look, the reason we have a 6 and 12 hole Piers is because that's a sufficient amount of time to see any patterns. We don't want you to evaluate the first hole and say, well, I sliced the first shot, now on the next tee shot I need to do this and this, because then it becomes too complicated. We want to look for consistent patterns that you can change after a certain amount of holes. So hole 6, hole 12 are great guides, aren't they?
They are, and I think once you've done this a few times, you'll start to just have much more awareness when you're playing. That's all we're after. Be aware of the shots that you're hitting and how you can actually change this.
So we're back on the 18th here to finish off. Now look, what we're going to be talking about really is where you aim. Now we've actually specifically asked for the pin placement here on the 18th today to be placed to the left hand side, and you can see it's just towards the back of the green also, just to highlight the point of really how you can save shots by actually playing to the middle of the green. Now a lot of people, Piers, in this situation, they look at the flag and play to the flag because that's really what we're trying to get to. But if they can play a little bit more conservative golf by hitting it towards the middle of the green, we're going to talk about how on a consistent basis, you know, over the time of a round, how you're going to have more putts to make birdie and to make par as well. So look, what we've got here is a typical shot pattern of one of our clients to 155 yards, and the flag is 155 yards away. Now what you'll notice in the shot pattern is there's a lot of mixture of results. There's some left, there's some long, short, and there's some right. And what's going to happen is, this is going to happen every time you play golf. You're going to hit shots offline, left, right, short and long. So you have to think about, well, if you're playing a shot, if you are going to miss it left or right, are you still going to be in a position where you can have a putt to obviously make birdie? Now, in this situation, if we were to get this shot pattern, overlay it on the flag down there, what you'll notice is that there's balls that have missed the green, Piers. There's a few balls left that have missed the green. Obviously, there's some good shots in there as well that are close. But if we were to go ahead and actually just shift this shot pattern more over to the middle of the green, what you're going to notice now is we've got all these balls in play. We have a putt on every single one. Now, surely now, if we can do that, Piers, on a consistent basis, the scores are going to be lower and we're going to have a lot more opportunities. Now, if you think about this, picking a spot in the middle of the green, you wouldn't necessarily always think about it. And I think it was Tiger Woods, somebody asked Tiger if he was an aggressive player, and he says, I'm aggressive to my spots, which is a great way to think about it, isn't it? He's aggressive to a conservative spot on the green because he knows over time he's going to have lots of putts. So Piers, talk us through this situation and what the trouble is and how we're going to approach this as well.
So look, as we know, the trouble is it's not really short, but we've got to take that into account, obviously. So it's 123 yards to the front of the green, so we need to make sure we hit it at least 124 yards on this hole. We've got 157 to the back and 137 to the middle of the green. Now we know that the trouble is to the left, and as we have seen from that scatter pattern, that dispersion chart, that if I go for the flag, I'm going to miss the green left on some shots. Now, the difficulty rating of getting up and down is very high when we haven't got a lot of green to work with. So the hard part for me here, and for a lot of golfers, would be, well, I've got a 9-iron in my hand, and you don't want me to aim for the flag? We get suckered into the flag, and that's when we make double bogeys. So if I can actually just say to myself, well, I want to hit this just past the centre of the green. So if I can hit this about 140 yards, it gets me above the tier and about 20 to 30 feet right of the target. If I employ that scatter pattern that we've shown you, I'm probably going to be putting for birdie on all of those shots. Now that is really good. Now obviously I may pull one and it may go really close. I may push one, I may have a long putt, but I have a long putt instead of a very difficult up and down short side chip shot.
Definitely. A great way to think about this, if you played a round of golf and there were no flags on the golf course, you'd be just aiming for the middle of the greens. And it'd be interesting to see what your score would be over that 18 holes as opposed to if there were lots of flags in.
There's a great tip for you. Why don't you go and do that? So shall I have a go at this shot here now, so we?
Pick your spot.
So as I say, I'm going to go 25 feet right of the flag, and I'm not, because of the wind as well, I'm going to knock it down a little bit because I don't want it to go too far. So 9-9, I've got 9-9, and this is just going to be a sort of punch shot, aiming right of the flag, and hopefully this will be very interesting to see what the result is on this. Okay. Now on that one there, I've pushed it by about 2 yards. And we can see back edge of the green. There's a lot of wind up there, Andy, but it's gone back edge a little bit further than I thought it would. But from there, I have got a 40-foot putt maybe?
Yeah, and you've got loads of green there, haven't you? Loads of green.
Well, 40-foot putt, it is a lot of green, but you know, I've got a chance of two-putting from there a lot more consistently than I have playing a 15-yard chip shot from short side, which is going to be very tricky.
Exactly, and I think this is a perfect situation because you're going in with such a short iron. Be careful the wind doesn't blow the bag over there. Because you're going in with such a short iron there, Pierce, it's so tempting to be aggressive at the flag. Yep. But if you can think about being aggressive to your spot, that's going to give you an opportunity throughout the round, your scores are definitely going to be lower. So that is the end of part one. We hope you enjoyed that. Make sure you post any comments and questions down below and make sure you put it into practice, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos. Yes, now what should you do next? Go and see part two. So go to meandmygolf.com, click the link in the corner and we'll see you there.